Hey everybody, I'm here to show off a little bit of my Ryobi tool wall that I've got going on and show you some hacks that I've used to make it a little bit more manageable for myself. Initially when I got this probably 5 or 6 months ago when it first came out, I was really dissatisfied. I couldn't figure out a good storage system. I had already purchased these couple of these shelves that don't work with the Ryobi Link system. So I decided to start making things work for me instead of waiting for Ryobi to come out with some of the parts that I was anticipating. So this cabinet has these mounting holes underneath. Those happen to be 16 on center, just like all the Ryobi Link wall brackets are. So I made a couple brackets that drop in there, and when I say made, I didn't 3D print them. I made them out of Ryobi Link stuff, and I will show you how in just a minute. I also got my French cleat items to work with the Link tool rail because I couldn't figure out a way to hang up these circular saws without putting them on those stupid hooks that I don't like. My battery pack for my 40-volt batteries is now hanging off of a tool rail, and I've done the same thing with my 6-port. So there's a new bracket. I'm going to show you about it, and then I'm going to show you how to use it or how to adapt it. So a couple of new things that Ryobi came out with, I've been really anticipating them. One of them is this modular tool holder. So all these tools are all individually mounted, and you can see how this one is facing to the side. So you can loosen up the screw on the bottom, and these will turn left and right or forward so that you can make them point whatever direction you'd like. So this one is really too big in the back. It will hit the wall if I try to mount it any other way than facing left or right. And that was the same problem I had, not with this tool, but another. So I just threw this one on there for showing it off. This was the other one. So all the nail guns are just far too big. So I made these two brackets here for nail guns. In between them, I threw in a little basket there for the nails. This is another French cleat item I previously had. Whoops. And I didn't even take the French cleat off. As you can see, I just made the Ryobi adapter fit right underneath of it. And the cool part is it fits on the top part of the rail instead of down in the rail. So you just got to put it right in between two spots there. This is the shelf that works with the Link system. I did buy that one also, and I really do like it because there's a lot of tools that fit in here with these thin little metal rails that don't fit on the ones I've made out of plywood. So that's pretty important. Probably the best thing I've made that I'm really happy with is this vertical mounting. So Ryobi, if your engineers are watching, get on this. This is important. So for this, I cobbled a couple things together. I took a regular bracket, one of these hooks. I popped the C-clip off and discarded it, and then I took this mounting piece off of one of these tool brackets here. You can just take the screw right out of the bottom the way you would turn it left and right, and I screwed it in through the back hole. You have to drill this out to be a little bit bigger, but now I have a vertical tool mount, which allows me to put tools in that orientation. Now that would be a bad one to use, but works wonderful for this caulking gun, and I'm anticipating at least 2 others that I will be making more of those for. So this bracket right here, the one that the vertical one I made is using up a black piece here, which left me with an extra one of these green pieces, and I didn't want anything to go to waste. So that green piece is screwed into the bottom of this French cleat mount, and again on the side. You have to drill this hole out to make it countersink. and then it just drops right in. With any French cleat item that you think might fit on there, which, you know, that's pretty cool, I think. So this one, I did the same thing. I used one of these pieces that are on the back of the battery pack. Let's see if I can pull this one off. So this one comes with a reversible hook, and I'm not a big fan of the hooks, but luckily when you take the hook off, I still have it in this Home Depot box here. So these are the hooks right here, and it's reversible in the sense that you can put it on this way, or you can flip the tool upside down, the mount upside down, and put it on that way. And this one is unique because it does fit in between, and this is the one I showed earlier that also fits on top of the hexagon here. So that reversible hook, if you're into these things, you know, you can mount it this way, or it could be hanging down a little bit lower. The thing that I don't find very useful with this is if I have a tool here, I cannot then also put a reversible hook here to put two items next to each other. But that is very easy to put on and take off. So when I put this battery pack back up on there, I like to put it vertical this way. It's easier to put on. I just put it on where it tends to snap in place really well with the on the screw. And that's the screw that came with that piece. It took a little finagling to get it to it's a bolt, and it's a flathead bolt, and it actually just fits right into the regular V part of the back of the battery chargers. So both of my battery chargers are just slid right up in there, and then you screwed those on, drop it right on there. So this part that I showed you is what I have mounting on one side here. On the other side, you can see a little metal tab sticking out right there. So that's the metal Ryobi bracket. And what I did with that was, again, I repurposed one of these. I popped the little C-clip out. I grinded this piece off and just made that hole a little bigger. I did the second step on this step bit, and that allows a 1/4 bolt to fit right through there. And this is then usable to mount whatever you want. You can put a French cleat item on there. You can put those Ryobi shelves that don't work with the Link system, but now they do. Downside with this is it takes up 4 spaces in the back, takes up 4 spaces in the front, because you can see it overhangs 2 rails. So that's taking up the space of 8 tools, but you get back 4 here. You get a couple on top, a couple inside. I think it's a win-win to be able to utilize these brackets and just make it look a little cooler. Which then you also get your pegboard on the side if you use that. And I have a tendency to use these thin parts up here to hang my nail guns from. And this tool is by far the most challenging to get mounted anywhere. So that's where it lives. It's just nice and easy. I don't use this little door. If I had thought it through a little better, I probably would have just bought 2 of the ones without doors, because I don't ever use that. And then my battery's down at the bottom, if anybody's wondering. This is a 3D printed mount from Thingiverse. I don't know the name off the top of my head of the person who created it, but man, they did a good job. It's a press fit. So 2 items, so they just press fit together. You can make it as long as you want. There's a mounting hole in each one. So you just keep on going until you get to you can make pieces that are ends and they're rounded over and they're a little prettier. But I really enjoy this thing. So when Ryobi does come out with the battery mount that will go in the tool wall, I'm not even sure if I'm going to worry about jumping over to that, because this is working good for me. I do not like taking up the space of the tool wall with these little buckets here because I'm short, and as soon as I put one up, I can't see what's inside of it. Even as low as this, I can't see if there's something in the bottom of that. So I like them down here just resting on the tool shelf. And then if I am going to do a grab and go, I can grab these, throw them in the excuse me, throw them into the pack out system. And yeah, and I use pack out. I don't use the Ryobi rolling system just because they didn't have one when I bought all that stuff. But I just take these with me when I'm grabbing the grinders and tools, and take whatever bin is appropriate, and I roll with it. Someday I'll probably upgrade to the Ryobi system just so all this stuff will fit in place. I have to check it out a little bit, see if I like how it works. I'm really digging these individual tool holders. I was really dissatisfied with all the hooks and the tools hanging all over the place. So this is what basically made me change my mind. I just bought another 20 of the backboards and probably another 30 of these tool holders. So I'm pretty stoked about that stuff coming in. These things, these are the ones from the reversible piece. I'll still use these. I'll screw these into 2x4s and stuff out on my my yard shed for all my yard tools. And I'll probably throw a couple of these pack out system rails out there for some of the hooks I have, because I do love these hooks for all my tools, the shovels, the picks, and all that stuff. I just don't like them here in my shop. I don't find these useful in the shop, none whatsoever. So if you found any of this useful, I hope you figure out a way to make these things work for you. Again, this was from the Reversible Hook. I think they're about $7 at Home Depot. And as you can see, so here I wouldn't be able to mount this piece in between in this section because it's hitting another tool. So that's why I like having it flipped upside down to where I can come in between tool pieces. And then the other piece is this one here. And like I said, when you take this mount bracket off, you can repurpose this somewhere else if you'd like to, and utilize this to mount your French cleats to. Or you can turn these guys left, right, or forward, and that shows you which way you're going to mount your tool. I did take one of these off and put it on the metal bracket and did my vertical. This is, again, by far one of the best choices, because to mount this tool horizontally takes up 3 tool spaces. It's really annoying. So now it takes up 1 tool space. And that might not be a big deal. If you have more space than I do, then that's not an issue. But for me, this is what I've got. Anything above these tools, I can't reach. I need a ladder to get to my wood up above it. I don't want to have to get a ladder out every time I need to grab a tool. This is the top end of where I could reach for my height. I'm only 5'6", so that's just the way it is. I don't do the tool wall in between because, again, it's totally wasted space. I can't do anything with it. They haven't made any small little things, like even these little cubbies, if there were space there, they won't fit behind the tools. So they haven't made anything that I find useful enough to close that section in with a piece of very expensive plastic. So if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up, and just keep on watching for new things. I'll be posting new Ryobi stuff as it comes out. Thanks for watching, guys.